Hey everyone, I'm Jill from Homeschool for Real Life, and today I want to share with you a game that we actually purchased and have found to be very educational and also fun, so something that you may want to consider using in your homeschooling. This game, Continent Race, is actually designed by a kid, so that's pretty cool. He is interested in geography and he designed this game. It's from Byron's Games, and it works on world geography. So I'm going to tell you just kind of the basics of how you play. Then I'm going to share with you some alternative rules you can use to hit different age levels. And then finally, I'm going to tell you about an alternate way to play that we came up with that's completely different and a lot of fun. Okay, so basically with the game, you get these 5 continent group cards and then these country cards. So the game, they've decided to take it and make 5 basic continent groups. So the 2 Americas are together, that you can see here, and then Antarctica is not its own continent group. So you have 5 continent groups in the game, and each one has a card that lists all of the countries included in that continent group and also shows you a map that has them labeled. And then the country cards are colored in order to match. So Europe is blue, Asia is pink, Africa is yellow, the Americas are this kind of reddish-orange color, and then the Australia and Oceania is green, okay? And so each player will have a hand of 7 cards, and you basically on your turn are picking up a card and discarding a card. And then when you get 4 of one continent, then you can lay those down and you have a continent. And when you get 3 continents, you win. Now there aren't as many countries in the Australia and Oceania category, and so there you only have to have 2 of the cards in order to set down a continent. So when you get 3 continents that have 4, or 2 in this case, of the cards, then you win. So you actually could play this game with a child who couldn't even read yet. So if you have younger siblings who want to be involved, they could play this because the cards are all color-coded. So they know they need 4 blue cards and then they've got a continent and they can claim that. But with your kids who can read, you can take the educational value up a little bit. When you get 4 of one color and you're building a continent, then you have to read off what the countries are. So you can say, okay, I am going out. I've got a continent for Africa. I've got Chad, Equatorial Guinea, Djibouti, and Liberia. And so now they've just heard those 4 countries that are in that continent. And then we play that if you win, before you can win, you've got to locate your winning countries on the map for each of your 3 continents that you won with. And so we're hearing the country names, we're hearing what continent they go with, and then we're actually finding some of them. Now, the other interesting thing they've included in this game are these mystery cards. These do not match the color of their continent. And so you have to figure out which continent group your mystery cards go with. So these up the difficulty factor quite a bit. I myself spend a lot of time looking at these cards to figure out which country or which continent the country that I've got is from. So if you want the game to be easier and more manageable for younger students, you can leave these out. If you want to start adding them in bit by bit, so maybe you pick 10 of them you're going to add in, and you all find them on the map, you know what they go with, so then you'll remember as you're playing. You could do it that way. You also could take a little painter's tape and put it on there and mark your continent until you get used to them, so that you all get used to what continent these countries belong to and then can learn that. So there's a lot of different levels of play you can create with this, from your non-readers all the way up to incorporating all of these mystery cards. Now, there is a completely different way to play that we came up with. I saw somebody was asking, does anybody know alternate rules for this? This isn't fun enough for my family. Do you know a way that we could play this with different rules? And so if you've ever heard of the game Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, This has 5 categories, just like that, so it can be played in much the same way. So what we do is we split the cards evenly among the players, so everybody has the same number of cards to start with, and then we take turns laying them down. So we've chosen to put the continents in the order Asia, Africa, Europe, Australia, Americas. And so we just go around taking turns. Each player is going to play a card on each continent, and you say the name of the continent you are laying on. Now, your card does not have to match. This one happens to. It does not have to. So we just go around, each player laying one card, taking turns. Asia, Africa, Europe, Australia, Americas, Asia, Africa, Europe, Australia, Americas. And as we do this, if you do happen to lay one that matches, so let's say I was getting ready to lay this down. It's my turn. I've got to go to Asia, so I say Asia, and I see that that card matches. Now everybody playing has the chance to slap that card. Whoever slaps on the bottom, they get to take all of those cards. And then play continues. Africa, Europe, Australia, Americas, Asia, Africa, Europe. That one matched. I laid a blue card and it was on Europe. That one matched, and so we can slap, we can take those cards. And then obviously the player with the most cards at the end of the game would win. So that's a completely different way to play this. It's not too difficult when you are using the color-coded cards. When you add in your mystery cards, it gets a lot trickier. So again, you could add these in bit by bit in phases if you want to. So it's a really educational game, and there's some completely different ways for you to play. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss anything new. You can also find us on Facebook and visit us at h4rl.com.